sucks when you see someone you love with someone else, but I just want her to be happy.
Nobody expected this, a surprise drop that cracked the internet wide open. And this time, it wasn't just a song, it was a story, a confession, a moment suspended in heartbreak. Justin Bieber released a track that fans say isn't just inspired, by Selena Gomez. They believe it's about their last night together. The lyrics, devastating. The tone, haunted. Every line drenched in nostalgia, like it's clinging to a memory that refuses to let go. Within hours, chaos ignited across the internet. Jelena was trending. Fan theories spread like wildfire. People weren't just listening. They were unraveling. Was this finally Justin breaking his silence on their story? Or was it a plea, not for closure, but for one more chance? I'm never going to stop loving you. That lyric didn't land like a line in a song. It felt like an echo, like the door hadn't been closed, just left slightly ajar. And now, the world's leaning in, because everyone wants to know what really happened. Let's rewind to March 2025. Selena Gomez, newly engaged to Benny Blanco, drops a joint album titled I Said I Love You First. Chart-breaking, heart-wrecking. But it was track 9, How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten, that detonated fan timelines. From the first listen, this wasn't just another sad ballad, it felt surgical, elegant but poisonous, and fans were convinced every lyric was aimed straight at Justin. This wasn't passive heartbreak, it was weaponized nostalgia. When Selena sings, "'Cause you walked in, big grin, talking like we're friends. Honey, what were you thinking?" It doesn't just sting, it slices. This wasn't shade, this was cinema. She never says his name, but she doesn't have to. The imagery, too sharp. The delivery, too personal. He loves me. I love him. Look at you. Just look at you now. That line didn't ask for interpretation. It dared fans to deny it. And they didn't. They devoured it. The chorus hit like a punch. You're so embarrassing. Go cry when no one's watching. It wasn't vague. It wasn't playful. It was raw, direct. A wound being reopened in real time. Fans immediately linked the lyrics to Justin's past breakdowns online. The crying selfies, the open-hearted captions, the digital unraveling. The song wasn't just painful. It was timed, calculated, personal. And then came the Spanish outro. Now all is said and done. All is forgotten. A bilingual mic drop. Not just closure, a cross-cultural send-off. Gomez didn't whisper goodbye, she said it in stereo. And the internet exploded. So why are fans so sure this track is aimed at Bieber? It's not just the lyrics, it's the timeline, the history, the emotional residue still clinging to every word. That line, "Look at you, just look at you now," didn't appear out of nowhere. It's a mirror of Look at Her Now, Selena's 2019 single that was also believed to be about Justin. This isn't coincidence, it's canon. And the date this track dropped, right as rumors of trouble in Justin's marriage to Hailey began bubbling. Paparazzi shots of him, worn down, distant, hollow-eyed. Meanwhile, Selena was glowing, riding, the wave of her engagement to Benny. The contrast? Blinding. The theories? Endless. Social media turned into a battleground. TikTok, X, Instagram, everywhere you looked, someone was decoding. One viral creator, Ibrandy Unplugged, lip-synced the brutal line, "He loves me. I love him. Look at you. Just look at you now," while overlaying a side-by-side montage. Selena and Benny in pure couple-core bliss, cut against Bieber's scattered, dazed paparazzi moments. The comment section was feral. "He's spiraling," one user wrote. "I'd crash out too," another replied. And the evidence? It kept stacking. On March 31st, just days after Selena's album release, Bieber went live on Instagram. No context. Just vibes. And those vibes? Off. Fans immediately clocked the mood. "He really been crashing out over that Selena track," one post read. That tweet didn't just trend, it exploded. The quote tweets, the ratios, the unfiltered speculation, it was digital wildfire. But when asked about it in interviews, Selena played it cool. On Spotify's Countdown series, she downplayed the narrative. "This album isn't about one chapter," she said. "I've evolved. I've lived. I've loved again." She claimed How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten wasn't aimed at one person, that it reflected shared experiences with Benny, with friends, with her past. But those words didn't douse the fire. If anything, they poured gasoline on it. Because while Selena stayed graceful, Justin's actions spoke louder than silence. On March 30th, right after the album dropped, he posted a photo of a brand new nose piercing. Innocent, maybe, until fans swarmed the comments. "He looks lost. He looks drained. He looks done." The vibe wasn't giving renaissance. It was giving unraveling. And it didn't stop there. On April 3rd, Bieber posted a meme featuring Gollum from Lord of the Rings, captioned, "Girls on social media when they get engaged. No names, no tags." But the implication? Thunderous. Fans didn't need confirmation. "He's been married. 8 years and has a kid," one fan snapped. "Why is he still shading his ex?" Maybe it wasn't shade. Maybe it was something else. A glitch in emotional regulation. A signal flare from someone still learning how to feel without spiraling. Because this isn't Justin's first time being vulnerable online. He's posted confessions before, heavy, soul-bearing admissions. One still echoes louder than most. "I think I hate myself sometimes, when I feel myself start to become inauthentic." It's not a lyric. It's a line ripped straight from the war between performance and personhood. And to understand why this moment matters, why it's landing like a seismic jolt instead of just another tabloid loop, you have to go back, way back, to 2009. That's when Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez first met, introduced by their managers, friendly, formal, surface-level stuff. Selena called him a good kid in an MTV interview, brushing off rumors after a brunch at IHOP, but insiders knew better. Behind the scenes, something was forming, quiet and electric. By summer 2010, they were two teenage stars clinging to something real in a world that treated them like products. Then came New Year's 2011, a yacht in St. Lucia, a kiss, no more denials, game over. From there, it was fairy tale love on a collapsing stage. By September of that year, Justin went full rom-com, rented out the Staples Center, now Crypto.com, arena, for a private Titanic screening with Selena. It was dramatic, excessive, headline gold. But even back then, the cracks were showing. The fandom toxicity was relentless. Death threats, online harassment. Selena, barely out of her teens, was drowning in venom. Comments that wouldn't survive 2025's moderation filters came at her daily. Fame wasn't just fame, it was pressure cooked. Trauma. Then came 2012. Even though she gave him a Diamond J promise ring, real life was catching up. Conflicting schedules, different paths. November brought the first breakup. It wouldn't be the last. What followed? A carousel of emotional chaos between 2012 and 2018. On again, off again, whiplash. Every reunion sparked hope. Every split wrote another sad girl anthem. And then, the end. The final cut. No more reconciliations, no more maybes. Justin proposed to Hailey Baldwin. By September, they were married. And Selena? She was gutted. Her response wasn't a press release, it was a song, Lose You to Love Me, a piano ballad soaked in pain and laced with truth. The lyric that broke the internet. In 2 months, you replaced us. It didn't sound like revenge. It sounded like the echo of something that never really healed. Since that final split, their lives have drifted, at least on the surface. Justin built a family. He and Hailey welcomed a son, Jack Blues, in 2024. Selena, on the other hand, found her person in Benny Blanco. Their relationship soft-launched in cozy photos and inside jokes, a slow bloom that culminated in a December 2024 engagement. On paper, they've both moved on. But the past, still loud, and the internet, still watching. Because here's the part people can't let go of. Justin's posts, the frequency, the tone, the timing. Early 2025, his Instagram became a whirlwind. Memes, rapid-fire videos, emotional whiplash. One moment he's poking fun at engagement culture. The next, it's a quiet cat video with a caption that feels more like a cry for calm. And fans notice something else. The timing of every post. every drop seemed to land within hours of Selena releasing something new. An album, a photo, a lyric. The speculation, ruthless. Fans swore he was reacting in real time. While Selena glowed in love, Justin looked stuck, dazed, flailing. TikToks blew up with split-screen edits, her thriving, him unraveling. One post, now viral, didn't hold back. She moved on, he's still crashing out. But then came the breadcrumbs. In January 2025, Justin teased a new track, a rap-heavy, flexed-out banger wrapped in emojis, a writing hand, a projector, a devil mask. Fans screamed, "He's cooking something, and it's for her." Theories connected instantly. And producer MKG, in a low-key New York Times interview, hinted he'd been in the studio with Justin in late 2024. That timeline lines up exactly with Selena's album rollout and engagement reveal. Coincidence? Nobody's buying that anymore. And let's be real, this wouldn't be the first time Bieber has poured his heartbreak into a record. Purpose, 2015, was a sonic diary, and everyone knew who it was about. The idea of a new confessional track? Not surprising. The real question isn't if he'll respond, it's how. Some think the new song will be his response to Selena's engagement. Others expect a sorrow-soaked apology track. But the loudest voices? They're bracing for full-blown lyrical fire, a diss track, one final chapter in their musical war. But would he really do it? A diss track might satisfy the fans. But for Justin, it could cost everything. Selena's already dismissed the idea. She said it multiple times. "I said I love you." First isn't about one person. It's about growth. It's about healing. It's about her life with Benny. On Spotify, she practically pleaded with fans. Don't narrow it down, don't flatten it to one name. But even her clarity couldn't compete with the chaos. Because this moment, this possible response from Justin, isn't just a question of art. It's a question of risk. He's a husband, a father, a man who's posted about mental health struggles and emotional exhaustion. His recent captions have leaned inward, reflections on authenticity, fear, and the cost of performance. So the idea of lashing out musically, it might feel cathartic in the booth, but outside, it could burn the very peace he's been trying to build. And let's not forget, public patience for petty celebrity feuds is thin. One wrong lyric and it's not just backlash, it's damage. To his image, to his marriage, to the family unit he's fought to stabilize. And then there's his music career itself, stalled since Justice 2021. That was 4 years ago. Since then, health battles, Ramsay Hunt syndrome, missed tours, canceled appearances, even his high-profile Coachella and Armani wedding performances. In 2024 were baby steps, not full returns. So if Bieber does come back now, it can't be reactive. It can't be messy, it has to be elevated, intentional, strategic, not a response to gossip, but a reset, a moment of reinvention. But here's the thing. If history's any clue, Justin doesn't always do clean breaks. He and Selena have always used music as therapy, as confession, as closure. When words failed, they sang. And fans, they've been reading every lyric like it's gospel ever since. This didn't start in 2025. It didn't even start with Purpose. This musical ping-pong between Selena and Justin has been echoing for over a decade. Back in 2013, Bieber dropped Journals, a compilation of raw, aching tracks. In a radio interview, he didn't dance around it. All that matters? It was about her. She was all that mattered, he said. No ambiguity, just longing. Heartbreaker from that same album era, even heavier. It bled. And when he tweeted, "This is for anyone going through heartbreak like I was," fans didn't need to guess who he meant, but the one that cracked people open? Nothing Like Us. A stripped-down acoustic gut punch Billboard once called the most cripplingly sad song he's ever released. One lyric still lingers like smoke. "Don't give you all my love. I guess now I got my payback." It wasn't poetry, it was pain. Fast forward to 2015. Purpose wasn't just a comeback, it was a confession. On Ellen, Bieber confirmed it. "What do you mean?" was inspired by Selena. A reaction to confusion, emotional whiplash, mixed signals. Sorry? That wasn't subtle either. It was half apology, half surrender, and he owned it. Told Ellen directly, That one was about her. 2, Even Love Yourself, co-written with Ed Sheeran, had fans dissecting every line like forensic analysts. My Mama Don't Like You? Too close to Selena's Arabic tattoo of the same phrase. The alignment was uncanny. And it wasn't just Justin using music as a release. Selena fired back. In her own way, The Heart Wants What It Wants, 2014, was her emotional thesis. She confirmed it was about him. The message? I know this is toxic, but I still feel it. Brutal, honest, still hard to hear without flinching. And then came her final word, Lose You to Love Me, 2019. That lyric, in 2 months you replaced us, wasn't abstract. It was precise, cold, surgical. These weren't songs. They were timestamps, breadcrumbs of a love story written in melodies and metaphors. And now, in 2025, it's happening again. Different year, same silence, same explosion, same decoding game. Because How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten doesn't sound like a new chapter, it sounds like the closing scene of a film we thought we'd already watched. A reversal of Sorry, a mirror, a slow, quiet end. But this time, it's different. Selena's no longer just expressing pain. She's curating perspective and flipping the lens. Fans thought they were getting another heartbreak album. What they got? A storytelling sleight of hand. Take Don't Want to Cry, the track that cracked the internet. One lyric in particular stopped the scroll. You kissed her right in front of me, like I'm not even there. It wasn't just vulnerable, it was surgical. Fans didn't hear that as fiction, they heard it as fact. A reliving of 2018. A callback to when Justin publicly paraded his new love while Selena was still reeling. Theories ignited. People weren't just listening, they were reliving. Then came Don't Take It Personally, a song that arrived like a grenade. The pre-release snippet had already sparked commentary across gossip blogs. But the lyrics? I know the two of you used to talk like every day. You probably got a dartboard with my face right in the middle. It wasn't subtle, it was barbed sarcasm dressed in melody. And at first, fans thought it was aimed at Benny's ex. Until, plot twist, in a track-by-track breakdown of I Said I Love You First, Selena revealed something no one expected. That song wasn't even from her perspective. It was written as if someone had said those words to her. Instantly, the entire meaning flipped, and so did the internet. Suddenly, fans weren't just asking, who is this about? They were asking, whose voice is this? Was it from Hailey's perspective? Was Selena channeling the mind of the woman who watched her husband's past unfold in real time? He sleeps in my bed. I met his parents. It's official. He doesn't want you. No, he doesn't want you. The tone, cold, final. It sounded like triumph, but through someone else's insecurity. Whether true or not, the effect was the same. Jaws dropped. Narrative disrupted. And then came the final blow. Younger and hotter than me. If Lose You to Love Me was grief, this track was shame. A shame that many fans didn't expect Selena to name out loud. All the girls at this party are younger and hotter than me. And I hate myself more for thinking you were different. That wasn't shade. That was self-excavation. Raw. Unfiltered. Too honest to be fake. But once again, plot twist. Was it even her voice? Or was it another performance? Fans began speculating that she was, once again, adopting another point of view. That it wasn't about her insecurities, but someone else's. And yes, they think she meant Hailey. The lyric, pictures of you at the movies, is she younger and hotter than me, hit differently under that lens. Not pity, not vengeance, just layered storytelling, folded in speculation, and soaked in insecurity. Whether it was intentional or not, the outcome was clear. Fans couldn't stop replaying, decoding, analyzing, and that's the algorithm's favorite game. Then came You Said You Were Sorry. Moody, minimal, drenched in unsaid things. It wasn't loud, it didn't scream. Revenge, it whispered regret. The kind that doesn't leave scars, it leaves silence. It didn't name names, it didn't have to. The energy said everything, and that's always been Selena's sharpest weapon, restraint. Where others chase headlines, she buries emotion inside melody. This track didn't feel like a swing at an ex. It felt like a ritual, a release. She wasn't crying over the past, she was narrating its funeral. And that's the shift. Selena doesn't use music just to process emotion, she uses it to bury it. You said you. We're sorry wasn't a diss. It was a purge, a final release of something the world wouldn't stop clinging to. And unlike the past, she didn't wait for validation. She didn't ask for permission. She closed the chapter, whether anyone heard it or not. And fans, they're just now realizing this wasn't about one man. It was about many moments. Not a breakup, a rebirth, not revenge, reclamation. Even her socials tell the same story. No subtweets, no chaos, just calm, aesthetics, soft life. She's not performing pain anymore. She's curating peace. And yet, the timing of it all still hits like thunder. Justin dropped Sorry years ago. Now, she drops You Said You Were Sorry. Coincidence? Maybe. But closure rarely lands that clean. And in pop culture, intent doesn't drive the story. Impact does. That's why people aren't clicking away. Because this isn't just about melody, it's about memory. It's about watching someone finally move forward while the rest of the world stays stuck in a loop. And with every lyric Selena sings, it feels like she's not just closing a door, she's locking it. But this isn't just about Selena's lyrics anymore. It's about what those lyrics represent. A mirror held up to Justin's past. A past the internet refuses to bury. Back in 2015, when Justin dropped Sorry, the internet treated it like his emotional confession, his apology letter to Selena. But in 2025, Selena flips the script. You Said You Were Sorry isn't about forgiveness. It's about what comes after. It's the silence that lingers after someone apologizes too late. The kind of lyric that doesn't just wound, it redefines, and that's the trap Bieber can't escape. No matter how much time has passed, no matter how many albums, how many interviews, how many family posts, he's still the ghost in her discography. The reference point, the silhouette, the thing fans won't stop projecting onto. That's the real price of a public love story, especially one that spanned headlines, timelines, and teenage hearts. And now Hailey Bieber has entered the conversation, whether she meant to or not. As I Said, I Love You first continues to dominate discourse, fans have begun pointing fingers in a different direction. They say the shade isn't just aimed at Justin, it's hitting Hailey too. And this time, she's not staying silent. According to reports, Hailey is considering legal action, not against Selena directly, but against what she sees as a coordinated wave of defamation fueled by fan behavior and media speculation. She's reportedly reached out to legal heavyweights, including Lisa Moore, the same attorney who helped Cardi B win a major defamation lawsuit. This isn't just a PR play. If she moves forward, it could change everything. Because what Hailey's trying to do isn't just protect her name, it's to draw a boundary in a space where women are often torn apart by narratives they didn't write. She's tried to stay above it all. Her posts? Calm, curated, marriage-focused. No call-outs, no chaos. But the pressure, mounting, and now, it looks like she's drawing a line in the digital sand. What makes all of this even more explosive? The timing, because just as Hailey's rumored legal strategy began making headlines, fans started whispering something else. Louder, sharper, more conspiratorial. That Justin's comeback, this rumored new track, the sudden flurry of social media activity, the quiet studio whispers, isn't organic. That it's not fueled by inspiration, but by strategy. A counterpunch, a reaction to Selena's rise, her album, her engagement, her glow. And the internet? It's divided. Some fans say Hailey is orchestrating the comeback, positioning Justin back in the spotlight, right as Selena dominates the cultural moment. Others claim it's damage control, an attempt to reclaim narrative control after a wave of headlines and fan discourse left Justin looking emotionally rattled and Hailey looking peripheral. Critics are weighing in too. Some argue that instead of building her own arc, Hailey's always been pulled into Selena's orbit, a supporting role in someone else's story. And that now, with this alleged legal move and Justin's teased comeback, it feels like an effort to recenter the triangle all over again. But here's the irony. While Justin and Hailey sit at the center of the media storm Selena, she's not flinching, she's not tweeting, she's not subtweeting, she's not even liking anything controversial. She's just existing. In love, in album mode, in peace, unbothered, undistracted. And that's its own form of power. Still, the triangle won't disappear. Every time Justin or Hailey posts, the internet scans for clues. Every lyric Selena sings is a Rorschach test. Theories spiral, narratives regenerate. And even if no one says the names directly, we all know who's being talked about, because whether they like it or not, all three names, Selena, Justin, Hailey, are locked in the same gravitational pull. Again, it's not just the music or the fan wars keeping this triangle alive. It's the body language, it's the silence, it's the captions that feel like confessions. One of Justin's recent Instagram stories stirred the pot all over again. Simple post, nothing wild, a meme that read, "Me behind my girlfriend after she makes me mad." No names, no tags, but the context, explosive. Immediately, social media caught fire. Was he shading Hailey? Was this a passive-aggressive jab at his own wife? Some thought it was just a joke. Others saw it as a cry for help. Either way, the effect was the same. Timelines flooded, comment sections spiraled, and speculation exploded. And in the silence that followed, things got louder. No clarification, no denial, just quiet. Then came the photos. Justin and Hailey spotted at a public event, but the energy? Off. Paparazzi lenses don't lie. The glances were awkward. The space between them? Noticeable. Fans zoomed in, cropped screenshots, slowed the footage. One question echoed, were they avoiding each other? Did Justin look checked out? The internet didn't just consume the images, it dissected them, pixel by pixel, frame by frame, and what started as a meme turned into a full-blown narrative. Justin and Hailey aren't just under pressure, they're cracking under it. The music, the history, the internet noise, it's all bleeding into their real life. And while fans spiral over what's being said without being said, Selena, she's still not reacting. No tweets, no statements, just carefully curated calm. Interview after interview, she insists this album isn't about reopening old wounds, but the timing, the tone, the lyrical fingerprints, they all tell a more complicated story. Because even when she claims peace, the internet hears thunder. Because here's the truth. No one wants to say out loud, Selena and Justin's love story didn't just happen in public. It became public property. Every chapter, every breakup, every red carpet photo, every cryptic quote. It wasn't just entertainment, it was emotional currency for an entire generation. So now, even when Selena tries to move forward, fans hear echoes. How does it feel to be forgotten? Was meant to be closure. But to listeners clinging to a story that raised them, it feels like an epilogue, a final note in a song they've been humming since high school. Even when Selena insists her lyrics reflect her shared life with Benny, the friendships, the growth, the healing, the world still bends the narrative toward Justin. Because once you've been mythologized, the audience doesn't know how to let go, even if you do. And that's the weight she's carrying now, not just her own history, but ours. The collective emotional memory of millions who projected their first heartbreak, first obsession, first love onto Jelena. They didn't just follow the relationship, they lived through it. So when she drops a line like, "You kissed her right in front of me like I'm not even there," it doesn't land as gossip. It lands as recognition, like something you felt, something you never healed from either. And that's the double-edged magic of pop music built on real love. It gives fans a sense of access, even ownership, but it also freezes everyone in time. Even as Selena steps into a new era, even as Justin builds a family, they're both haunted by what they were. To the world, they're not just musicians anymore. They're myth, memory, metaphor. And the audience? We're still listening, not just to their music, but to their silence. Even as Selena moves forward, even as she glows in her soft life era, arms linked with Benny, music charting, silence intact, some critics argue she hasn't fully let go, not of Justin, but of the narrative. Her lyrics, though poetic and precise, walk a delicate tightrope between closure and continuation. They feel resolved on the surface, but underneath, there's still smoke, a flicker of unfinished business, a tone that says, "I'm not angry, but I haven't forgotten." And Hailey, she's become more than just a name in the story. She's become a symbol, the internet's emotional punching bag, a role she never auditioned for, but can't seem to escape. Despite her attempts at peace, despite her curated posts, despite her silence, the fanbase refuses to let her exit the triangle. It's a toxic loop. One lyric reignites a theory. One theory sparks a hate wave. One wave triggers more silence. And that silence gets interpreted 1,000 different ways. Hailey's not seen as a person. She's seen as a plot device. And that's the darker side of this whole spectacle. For years, Hailey has been reduced to a supporting character in someone else's love story. And that, more than any lyric, shows just how parasocial our culture has become. We don't just watch celebrities, we write their roles, assign them motives, demand they stick to a script they didn't even write. And when they don't, we turn on them. Or worse, we pretend it's our right to decide their worth. Selena, for her part, has always tried to stay above it. Graceful, measured, careful not to pour gasoline on the fire. But there's an undeniable tension between her message of healing and the shadows her music still casts, because intention doesn't always match impact. And when music becomes a battlefield, everyone ends up bruised, even the ones who thought they already moved on. And yet, in all the chaos, something else has become clear. This was never just a breakup story. What began as a teenage love triangle, awkward, sweet, then painfully public, has grown into something far more complicated. It's no longer just about who hurt who. It's about what happens when pain gets published, when private heartbreak becomes global entertainment. Selena's arc has transformed from heartbreak survivor to architect of her own peace. She's rewritten the narrative, not through clapbacks or cryptic posts, but through evolution, through music, through vulnerability, through business ventures that speak for her when she doesn't feel like speaking at all. Her glow up, not just aesthetic, energetic, and it's loud. Even in her silence, the power shift is deafening. Justin, meanwhile, feels like a ghost in his own story. Once the golden boy, now flickering between emotional transparency and spiritual searching. His rare captions about self-hate, identity, loss, and authenticity don't feel performative. They feel like fragments, like he's still trying to figure out where the persona ends and the person begins. And Hailey, she's the one stuck in the crossfire, trying to hold still in a storm she didn't start, but one she can't escape either. She didn't ask to be part of this legacy, but now she's embedded in it, whether she wants to be or not. Because this triangle, Selena, Justin, Hailey, it's done more than feed tabloid culture. It's quietly reshaped how an entire generation views love. Breakups, loyalty, moving on. It's not just about who said what or who posted when. It's about the lens we now use to measure our own lives. Who gets to speak, who gets to heal, who gets to let go. Here's the hardest truth to accept. This was never just about Selena, or Justin, or Hailey. It's about us, the fans, the followers, the ones who watched this story unfold like a real-time soap opera and unknowingly turned private emotion into public myth, who projected our own heartbreak, our first love, our jealousy, our healing onto people we've never even met. Because for many, Jelena wasn't just a couple, it was a mirror, a way to see our feelings reflected in their music, their mistakes, their reconciliations, their silence. And now, when Selena drops a lyric like, "You kissed her right in front of me like I'm not even there," it doesn't just feel like a story. It feels like memory. Like something we've all lived, even if we never really did. That's the magic and the curse of pop music born from real relationships. It creates emotional access, but it also leaves wounds wide open. Even now, with Selena entering the calmest chapter of her life, and Justin building a family, their past feels louder than their present, and that's why the story won't end. Because even if Selena insists this album isn't about Justin, even if Justin says nothing at all, the world is still listening, not to what's said, but to what isn't. And that's the legacy. Not the drama, not the headlines, but the emotional residue that lingers. The fans who turned pain into playlist anthems. The media that turned teenagers into tabloid chess pieces. The artists, once just kids, Now trying to live beyond the mythology, Selena's new album may not be about Justin, but it is about evolution, about what it takes to love again when your most vulnerable moments became public domain. And for anyone still chasing closure from a story they never lived, maybe that's the answer. Sometimes the final chapter isn't clean, it's just quiet. And maybe, just maybe, that silence is where healing finally begins.